Hi, one of my viewers, Beyond Fantasy, wrote a very interesting question in one of my videos. He was asking, what is a role? In a tabletop role-playing game, what is a role? This was in the What are tabletop role-playing games video. I'm going to put the link to that one in the description if you haven't seen it. Perhaps I will create a playlist with the essential concepts of tabletop role-playing games. That's a good idea. When it comes to defining a role in a tabletop role-playing game, this is quite interesting because the concept itself is very easy to understand, but the explanation looks complex. Okay, let me give you the complex explanation. Playing a role in a tabletop role-playing game is embodying an archetype, stereotype, or something in between that plays a part in the fiction based on its function. This is accomplished through description. So, like I said, it sounds very complex, but this basically means that any sort of character concept, and in the case of the game master, the game world itself or any element within the game world, has a function. And it is through description that you play this role. That is, it's all based on its function. If you decide to roleplay, let's say that you are a player and you decide to roleplay as a level 1 fighter that is the son of a noble house that has the tradition of sending their coming of age children into the world to learn the harshness of the world itself, to see if they survive in order to test them. You have an entire character concept there, and it's a function within the game world as well related to that very same concept. The way that fighter does his combat techniques, his methods, his strategies, his tactics, this could be related to the martial tradition of that noble house. Very different from a more pirate concept, mercenary concept. Perhaps those sorts of fighters do not even know how to read in a medieval fantasy setting. In the case of the game master, the rain itself, the weather, the rain, it could represent the salvation when there is the land is too dry and the crops are dying because there's simply no water. But it could also present a hindrance when it comes to the rain constantly falling and causing mudslides, getting the characters sick if they are too exposed and their constitution cannot handle it. Remember, the game master is also playing a role, or many roles rather. The roles of the non-player characters, the game world itself, any of its elements and all of the hazards. Every single thing in a tabletop role-playing game has a function within the fiction. So by playing a role, you're either playing as an archetype or stereotype, or like I said, something in between. Sometimes people like those cliches. Other times you want to go towards something more, a bit more creative, perhaps you could say. And it's all based on a function. That's why it's important when it comes to the character creation process that you handle perhaps character classes. In other cases, you build everything from scratch. But it all ties in with the archetype or stereotype or anything else, enacting its function upon the fiction. And you can only do this through description. If you don't describe what your character is doing, if you don't describe what your character is saying, or talk if you wish as the player character, you cannot play a role. And if you are constantly distorting this description by going out of character, by doing many things unnecessary, then you cannot roleplay. It's all about archetypes, stereotypes, something in between, the function of each one of those elements, and describing such a function within the game world. That's how you play a role. I hope that explanation was adequate. Like I said, once you get the idea, you're like, oh, I got it, right? Very simple, but explaining it, that's why you need to roleplay, in order to grasp the concept. My character approaches this and that, my character does this and that, my character looks at this and that, instead of saying, can my character do this? Can I? Is it possible to? That's the distortion. And because this is a game, you will still have to make those rolls unless it is a diceless system or a tool-less system. You use cards, you use dice, bennies, whatever. You announce those results. But that's it. Beyond that, cut the unnecessary so that you get into character. I hope this explanation again was precise. Thank you as always. Thank you to Beyond Fantasy for his question. Thanks to everyone who is watching my videos. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you and see you later.